Good night, viewers. Here are tonight's top stories. Authorities are currently investigating a fatal shooting on Durban Street, Georgetown, while 2 drivers have been fined and had their licenses suspended for dangerous driving. A Mabaruma resident facing murder charges has changed his plea to not guilty, and police have conducted a raid at Red Dragon Nightclub. Minister Deidre Indar has also filed a $50 million defamation lawsuit against Melissa and Atwell and Sherrod Duncan. In a separate case, a Leopold Street resident has been fined for simple larceny. Stay tuned for updates on these developing stories. Police investigate fatal shooting incident on Durban Street, Georgetown. The Guyana police force is currently investigating a tragic shooting incident that occurred in the early hours of this morning, resulting in the death of 1 individual and injuries to several others. The incident took place at approximately 5:45 a.m. at Lot 23 Durban Street, Lodge, Georgetown. The deceased has been identified as Anthony Havs-Combs, a 40-year-old vendor from South Ruimveldt. Mr. Havs-Combs was shot multiple times and succumbed to his injuries. Several other individuals sustained gunshot wounds and are currently receiving medical treatment. Initial reports indicate that an all-black party was held at V's Flavor Delight, located at Lot 23 Durban Street. The event was concluded by police around 5 a.m. A 37-year-old businessman, who hosted the party, reported that while he was cleaning up on the northern side of Durban Street, he heard multiple gunshots. He observed a black motor car speeding westward along Durban Street immediately afterward. The businessman noticed several individuals with apparent gunshot wounds and assisted in transporting them to the hospital. The injured individuals, who were treated at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC, have been identified as follows. Travis Series, 25, a vendor from East La Penitence, sustained a gunshot wound to the lower abdomen. Tion Allen, 38, an unemployed man from Sophia, sustained a gunshot wound to his left shoulder. Stanley Matthews, 31, a laborer from Sophia, sustained gunshot wounds to his left hand and thigh. Destra Author, 33, a vendor from East La Penitence, sustained a gunshot wound to her left leg. Lennox Wayne, 39, a security guard from Turkian, sustained gunshot wounds to his right thigh and hand. The investigation into the shooting is ongoing, and the police are appealing to anyone with information that could assist in solving this case to come forward. Minister Deidre Indar files $50 million defamation lawsuit against Melissa and Atwell and Sherrod Duncan. Minister within the Ministry of Public Works, Deidre Indar, has initiated legal action in the High Court, filing a defamation lawsuit seeking $50 million in damages against social media activist Melissa and Atwell, popularly known as Melly Mel, and opposition parliamentarian Sherrod Duncan. The lawsuit arises from statements made during a Facebook Live session on August 2, 2024, where Duncan, hosting Atwell as his guest, allegedly made defamatory remarks concerning Minister Indar's involvement in the award of contracts. Minister Indar, through his legal representative CSE Gunraj, contends that these statements falsely implicated him in corrupt practices as a public official and portrayed him as dishonest, with dishonorable motives, thereby rendering him unfit for public service. Minister Indar asserts that the broadcast has caused significant damage to his reputation, strained his social and personal relationships, and adversely affected his professional standing. He further claims to have suffered considerable distress, embarrassment, and public contempt as a result of the defamatory statements, which he insists are utterly false and without foundation. In his legal filing, Minister Indar is seeking an injunction to prevent Atwell and Duncan from making or repeating similar defamatory statements on their Facebook pages. Additionally, he is requesting a court order directing the removal of all social media posts containing the false and defamatory remarks, along with a public retraction and apology from both Atwell and Duncan. 2 drivers fined and licenses suspended for dangerous driving incident. 2 drivers involved in a dangerous driving incident that garnered widespread attention on social media have been fined $50,000 each and had their driving licenses suspended for 6 months. The ruling was handed down by Magistrate Shivani Lalaram on Thursday at the Georgetown Magistrates Court. The incident, which occurred on the Rupert Craig Highway in Greater Georgetown, was captured on video and shared across various social media platforms. The footage showed a red Canter, #GAC1877, and a white hauler truck, #GAB849, weaving recklessly through traffic, endangering the lives of other road users. The video quickly sparked public outrage, prompting a swift response from law enforcement. Following an investigation, the drivers, 30-year-old Jason Andres Dennis and 33-year-old Clive Richmond, were tracked down and arrested by the police on Wednesday. Upon their arrest, both men were shown the video footage and admitted to being the drivers involved in the incident. In court, Dennis explained that he had been under immense stress at the time of the incident due to personal circumstances, including the recent loss of his child's mother and the challenges of being a single parent. He stated that his frustration was further compounded by work-related pressures, which contributed to his reckless behavior on the road. Richmond, while offering less detailed explanations, also expressed regret for his actions. Both men pleaded guilty to the charge of dangerous driving. Magistrate Lalaram, while acknowledging their explanations, emphasized the seriousness of their actions and the potential danger they posed to the public. As a result, each driver was fined $50,000, and their driving licenses were suspended for 6 months, a decision aimed at sending a strong message against reckless driving on Guyana's roads. In addition to the fines and suspensions, the vehicles involved in the incident were impounded by the police. The Guyana Police Force, GPF, has reiterated its commitment to enforcing traffic laws and ensuring road safety in light of the growing concerns over dangerous driving and road accidents. This incident underscores the importance of responsible driving and the need for continued vigilance in promoting road safety across the country. Mabaruma resident facing murder charge changes plea to not guilty. Christopher Van Newton, a resident of Mabaruma in the Northwest District, NWD, has reversed his earlier guilty plea and now pleads not guilty to the charge of murder. The 50-year-old had initially confessed to the crime, which involved the fatal stabbing of 44-year-old Sherwin Smith of Kamaka Waterfront, NWD, on April 18, 2022. The case was heard before Justice Sherdell Isaacs Marcus at the Demerara High Court, where a jury is scheduled to be impaneled on September 10, 2024, to deliberate on the matter. According to police reports, the tragic incident took place at the Mabaruma settlement ground, where Van Newton allegedly approached Smith armed with a knife. A law enforcement officer on duty at the eastern gate of the ground witnessed the confrontation. Van Newton reportedly stabbed Smith multiple times before the officer intervened and disarmed him. Despite being critically injured, Smith managed to reach a nearby vehicle but collapsed shortly afterward. He was rushed to the Mabaruma Regional Hospital, where he received medical attention for severe wounds to his left abdomen and neck. Unfortunately, Smith succumbed to his injuries at approximately 2000 hours on the same day. It is believed that the incident stemmed from an old grievance between the two men. Investigation underway following Durban Street shooting incident. HGP Nightly News reports that authorities are actively investigating a shooting incident that occurred early Saturday morning outside an all-black party on Durban Street, between Victor and Chapel Streets. Preliminary findings suggest that the gunmen were targeting former police officer Lloyd Roberts, also known as Robbie. Roberts sustained multiple gunshot wounds, including injuries to his face and feet. He is currently receiving medical treatment at a private hospital. The incident, which took place around 5:45 a.m., tragically resulted in the death of 40-year-old Anthony Haves Combs, a vendor from South Ruimveldt. Haves Combs was shot multiple times and succumbed to his injuries. Several others were injured in the attack and are receiving medical attention. The injured include Travis Series, 25, a vendor from East La Penitence, who sustained a gunshot wound to the lower abdomen. Tion Allen, 38, an unemployed man from Sophia, who was shot in the left shoulder. Stanley Matthews, 31, a laborer from Sophia, who received gunshot wounds to his left hand and thigh. Destra Author, 33, a vendor from East La Penitence, who was shot in the left leg. Lennox Wayne, 39, a security guard from Turkian, who sustained injuries to his right thigh and hand. The investigation is ongoing as authorities work to uncover the circumstances surrounding the attack. Further updates will be provided as more information becomes available. Leopold Street resident fined for simple larceny at Georgetown Magistrates Court. Quincy Wills, a 44-year-old unemployed man from Leopold Street, Georgetown, appeared before the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Friday to face a charge of simple larceny. The charge stemmed from an incident on August 21, 2024, in which Wills stole 2 rearview mirrors from a parked car on Brickdam Road, Georgetown. The stolen mirrors belonged to Ryan Plater, who had parked his car near Demico House while meeting a friend. Upon returning to his vehicle after 30 minutes, Plater discovered that the mirrors were missing and immediately reported the theft to the police. Following an investigation, Wills was arrested and admitted to the offense. He was subsequently charged and brought before Magistrate Annette Singh, where he pleaded guilty. In court, Magistrate Singh fined Wills $10,000 and issued a stern warning against further criminal activity. "If you come back before me again, you're going to jail," the magistrate cautioned, urging Wills to desist from stealing mirrors in the future. Police conduct raid at Red Dragon Nightclub. In the early hours of Saturday, August 24, 2024, the Guyana police force conducted a raid at the Red Dragon Nightclub, located on Rob Street, Bourda, Georgetown. The operation took place between 12 a.m. and 3:40 a.m. and was led by 2 assistant superintendents. During the raid, the nightclub and all individuals present were subjected to thorough searches. While no items of evidential value were discovered, police found a total of 26 women of Venezuelan, Cuban, and Dominican Republic nationality inside the club. Additionally, 5 male security guards and 3 barmen were also present. All individuals were escorted to the Criminal Investigations Department, CID, headquarters as investigations into the matter continue.